Hi friends, and welcome back to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11, and this is a long overdue video. This is a 1985 Topps baseball set build. What I'm attempting to do is put together the set of 1985 Topps baseball with some help from you in the card community. And what we're doing is trying to put together all 792 cards, and I'm just asking if anybody has some cards that they are willing to contribute to this project. I would definitely appreciate it. You can send it to the mailing address that you'll see on the screen in the background once we get going with the updates to this binder. But I'm not asking for Mark McGwire or rookie cards of Roger Clemens or anything. Just anything that you have that you're willing to donate to help me put this together, I would definitely appreciate. I'm trying to do it this way to make it a little bit extra special. I know I could go out and buy it, but I think it would be a lot more fun this way. So I'm going to get things set up and we'll take a look at what we have to add today to the 1985 Topps Baseball Community Set Build. As you see on the backdrop here, these are people that have already contributed to the project, and I'm putting their names on the binder so that they are remembered for their contributions to this project. You can see Jack Smith has already contributed twice and has a few more donations, so thank you very much. SW and Klummps Cards. Now let's take a look at a few more submissions here, and if you want to get involved, you can hand them to me at a card show if you see me, or right there is the mailing address. Up first we have Paul, and I don't know if he wants anything more than that shown. I don't want to share an address for obvious reasons, so just want to say thank you to Paul. I will add you to the binder. Let's take a look at the cards that he submitted. We've got the baseball winning pitch game card. We've got Luis Leal. Gonna have to zoom out here just a little bit. Give me 1 second. There we go. We got Rick Lysander. Looks a little like Jack Morris. Former Brewer Danny Darwin. Broderick Perkins. Nick Asaski. Jim Clancy. So I'm going to show off all the cards we're going to be adding to the binder today. Here's Willie Upshaw. And then I'm going to put them in the binder, and I'll give you an update on where things stand. There's Bill Lasky, Tito Landrum, Marty Castillo, Bob Welch, Pat Tabler, Jerry Martin, Darrell Porter, Bob Nipper, Bob Ojeda. Could you imagine how boring this would be if I just went through and organized them, tried to number them? There's Keith Hernandez, NL All-Star, and you watch me try to separate them by numbers and all that. Dave Parker, Dave Smith, Bob James, Charlie Liebrandt, Wayne Gross, former Brewer Ray Burris, Larry Parrish, Buddy Bell, and Carmelo Martinez. So thank you very much to Paul. And now I've got a couple envelopes from Jack Smith. You can probably hear me cutting the envelope open here. And we've got a couple reds on the top. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we've got Andy McGaffigan, Jeff Russell, might be the whole Reds, or at least part of the Reds team set. There's Wayne Krenchicki, that's a fun name, Dwayne Walker, and Eddie Milner, along with Nick Asaski, Tom Hume. Maybe I'll try to show it this way. Nope, that won't help with the shadow. Sorry about that. Brad Leslie, Brutus the Barber Beefcake's brother. Not really. And Joe Price. And we got one other envelope from Jack Smith, and we'll definitely add you to the... Up on the list there, I put ×2. We'll make that a ×4. And oh, wow. These are some great cards. Thank you very much. I'll save the best one for last here. We got Jeff Burrows, one of the top relievers of his time, Dan Quisenberry. He'd win a World Series in 1985. Mike Boddicker, One of my favorites, the great Eddie Murray on the All-Star card. We got another Keith Hernandez All-Star card. And shout out to Zach Sports Cards and Collectibles because it's Dale Murphy, an All-Star. And one more pack here to go. We've got the father-son card of Ozzie and Ossie Virgil. A couple Yankees, the great Yogi Berra. Andy McGaffigan, he's not a Yankee, by the way. I should say Phil Niekro. The Doc Gooden, the White Gooden. And this is the card that I saw first. That's a great one right there. That, of course, Darryl Strawberry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize these. I'm going to put them in the binders, and we'll do a little status update on where things stand in the binder. Before I get to sorting, I forgot to mention that I also picked up some cards here to add as well. Al Oliver, Danny Heap, Britt Burns, Steve Yeager, Hall of Famer Jim Rice, Lance Parrish, Kelvin Chapman, Spike Owen, Rafael Santana, and Mike Krukow. And as you can see, I've added a 4 now to Jack Smith and added Paul E. to the binder. So here's what the stacks look like. I know some of you might find this boring. Others might find it interesting to see how I do this. So we've just got them lumped from 0 to 99, 100 to a 199, and so on and so forth. By the way, I want to point out in the background, I don't know how visible they were, I've got this Christian Yelich Funko Pop and my Rob Deere autographed baseball, and those were from friends in the card community. So I definitely wanted to shout them out since I always have those handy and enjoy looking at those. So now I'm going to go ahead and put them in the binder, and we'll do a status update next. I promise I'm not going to do an update with every single card I enter, but Doc Gooden right here, that's card number 3. That is the lowest numbered card that we have so far. Okay, so we actually have a double here with Phil Niekro. I think this one here is actually in just slightly better shape, so I'll swap those out, and maybe I'll find a way to turn that other Phil Niekro into a different card to add to this set. Right here we got back-to-back numbers, 74 and 75. That's Mike Krukow and Willie Upshaw. I just put in card number 84, which is Spike Owen. I remember him best as a Red Sox. Anyway, I point that out because this is one of our better looking pages, as we already have 5 cards in the 80s. I didn't mention this earlier, so once I've got them grouped by hundreds, when it's time to go into the individual 100 card groupings, I just separate them here. So we've got the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, no 80s in this stack, and then the 90s. Then if I have like a card like say 103, that would just go over here, but we don't have one of those, so that makes this one pretty easy to sort. Here's another page that's coming together very nicely. This is 109 to 117. We got Alejandro Pena at 110 with Tom Tellman, Bob James, the Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson, and Greg Gross. Here's a sequence where I'm just starting to put cards in on pages. So we got Dave Smith right there. That was card number 123. Our first entry on the next page right here is Al Oliver. That was card 130. And then the Virgil family, that's the first entry on this page, and that was card 143. Skipping ahead just a little bit, we're closing out 100 to 199, and this is card number 198. It's Eddie Milner of the Cincinnati Reds. Moving ahead to the 220s, right here, this Doyle Alexander card, that would actually magically turn into a John Smoltz. Anyway, we've added Tom Hume to this sheet today, and that was card number 223. And then right in the middle where it belongs, that's a nice Gary Carter Expos card. On the next page, we're now adding Danny Darwin. Let's fast forward to the 270s. 272 there is Jeff Burrows. And how can you not love this card? Darryl Strawberry, who of course was the #1 pick of the 1980 draft. He's number 278. Advancing now into the 300s, this is Andy McGaffigan at 323, and I chose that one over this copy right here since I had a couple to choose from. A couple pages later, we're into the 330s. Britt Burns is in at 338, Danny Heap at 339, and I already had the Hall of Famer Robin Yount at 340. As you're going to see here, we've got some openings in the 300s, and the next card that I placed is none other than Rick Lysander. That is card number 383, And on the next page, we're going to see probably the best card in the set. Of course, that one right there is Big Mac, Mark McGwire. We're now in about the middle of the set. Card number 433, of course, Jim Morrison of the Doors. Oh, apparently of the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. Anyway, the next card we placed is not Fernando Valenzuela, but it is Dwayne Walker. Here's a couple of serviceable left-handers in the mid-450s. That's Bob Nipper at 455, and then at the bottom right corner of the page, Charlie Liebrandt at 459. We're into the 500s, and here's one of the great cards in the set, the Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett. But at 517, I actually just placed Jerry Martin, who had a very similar career to Kirby, as in they both played baseball. The last card I'm placing in the 500s is number 597, Brad the Barber Leslie. Oh, I keep forgetting, that's Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who was Ed Leslie. No relation that I know of to Brad Leslie. The last card I'll be placing in the 600s in this video is Jeff Russell, a very young Jeff Russell, at 651. We now join the 700 club already in progress with back-to-back cards of Hall of Famer Eddie Murray, his regular card at 700 followed by his All-Star card at 701. We're doing pretty well with the National League All-Star team. At 712, we've got friend of Jerry Seinfeld, that of course is Keith Hernandez. A little bit lower on the sheet at 715, the Hall of Famer, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, followed by Dale Murphy and the great Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. We're getting low on cards to add to the binder here, but this is kind of interesting. At 758, we've got Ray Burris. 2 cards later, we already had the great Nolan Ryan, and that's 760, and I point that out only because I always find it interesting when you have like a hole in the binder and you kind of look at what's next on a different page, and he looks like he's throwing to the great Carlton Fisk of the White Sox. And our final entry today is Nick Esaski, the infielder from the Cincinnati Reds. Well, I'm just going to kind of go through a couple pages here as we wrap things up. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this journey as we try to put together the 1985 Topps baseball set. It's been a long time coming, this video. I apologize for that. I'm going to try and keep them much more frequent as we continue building this. But I'd like to thank everybody that watched this video and that has certainly participated as we've gone along in this journey. On behalf of Kevin the Diamond King, our graphics guru Dylan, and others, including, I want to make sure we get them here one more time, Jack Smith, SW, Klummps Kards, and Paul E., I'm Bronko, the PSA 11. So long, everybody. You've been watching a 1985 Topps set build here on the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.